And welcome to Inside the Program on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm your host, Justin Wells. With me, as always, the managing publisher at Inside Texas, Eric Nalin. Real quick, before we get into all the bye week good stuff, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Help us climb to that 10,000 sub mark. We are getting there. Come see us at InsideTexas.com. We really do have a lot of fun over there. Use the promo code IT1, and that will get you 2 months of premium access for only $1.
I mean, I can't believe it's only $1 for 2 months. They're pickpocketing us.
They are, but you know what? We're Texas is one of the top 10 teams in the country, Eric. So we're giving away the love because we know how important it is to Texas fans.
Not even Christmas.
Not even Christmas. But listen, Texas can't lose on bye week. Everybody's healthy. It's a good thing. The helicopter's out and about for Sark and those guys. They're out there today. We need to talk about that. They're on the road. Coaches are on the road today. We've got good stuff at Inside Texas about that. But we're going to jump into an injury report because we need to talk about the guys that are a little hobbled up on the MASH unit. You had a post earlier this morning talking about Derek Williams, Jelani McDonald, Silas Bolden. What is the latest you're hearing? We usually get a practice report since they're in the SEC now, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. On the bye week, we don't have that. Why don't you go ahead and deliver that for us?
Yeah, Derek Williams is the one that missed the last game. Don't really want to go into the injury, but it's something that can be, re-aggravated, I should say. But right now, he's looking really good. I expect him to play versus OU. Jelani McDonald, he had a minor injury. He was able to play through it versus Mississippi State. The bye week has allowed him to get to 100%. Silas Bolden, same thing. He had a minor tweak versus Mississippi State. Now he's back to 100%. Expect to see his kamikaze-style returning punts versus OU next Saturday.
And those are just the scratching the surface. Quinn Ewers is the one everyone wants to know about.
Oh, yeah.
How's he looking this week? And you and I both talked to sources during the week, and he's played pretty well. He's had a good week of practice. From what we're hearing, he's feeling a lot more comfortable. There's a good chance he could have played last week, but he wants to get 100%. I think Sark sees that, hey, we're going to need a Quinn Ewers at 100% to make this run. What else are you hearing about how he's looking healthy right now?
Yeah, he looks a lot better than he did a couple of weeks ago. You could tell that it was bothering him before. Now, not so much. Now, the way it was told to me, it sounds like as far as the injury goes, he looks fine. He might have had a little bit of rust throwing the ball this week, but that's what it's for. He's got 2 weeks of practice before OU. He's come back from injury before for this game and lit it up. I expect him to play very well, but there might have been a little bit of rust, but as far as injury goes, he's feeling perfectly fine.
Some of that rust gets wore off whenever you're watching Arch Manning drop dimes down the field pretty deep. I think that helps with the rehab just a little bit. They're both really good friends, and I think they both pull for each other, and I think they're both good for each other. What's Sark's messaging this week? It seems like every week he has a different subject that he likes to focus on. There's different ideas, different items that they tackle. What's been his messaging in this off week? Essentially, watch what you do, watch where you go, things of that sort. But what's kind of been his overall vibe?
Yeah, that's one of them. They have a little bit more freedom this week with the bye week. But the message this week, it sounds like he's not shying away from the magnitude of this game. He said, it's a privilege we get to play in games like this that are this big, but at the same time we have to keep the focus and continue to play to a standard. Play to a standard is their probably their one consistent theme throughout the season. It's always play to the standard. Doesn't matter if it's first quarter and you're a starter, or it's the fourth quarter and you're a third string. You got to play to the standard. So that's a big thing. But it really was just embrace the not embrace the magnitude necessarily, but embrace the opportunity to go out and play in what he considers the best rivalry game in the country. And it's nobody can argue it's one of the top 2 or 3 in the country. So just embrace the opportunity and make the most of it.
Hey, I'll tell you somebody else that's in the top 3 in the country. That's Andre the Lawyer. This video is brought to you by that man, Andre the Lawyer. If you're injured, you need to trust the team that has secured millions for their clients. It helped thousands of Texans with their injury cases, car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, wrongful deaths. Do not let an insurance company tell you what your claim is worth. Andre the Lawyer is here to fight for you. He's located in Dallas, but he will help Texans throughout the state. Do not wait. Give Andre the Lawyer a call, 214-444-8808. If you're ever stuck, you ever need help, He's the guy. Andre the Lawyer,
Hey,
214-444-8808.
let me tell you how reliable that guy is. I left my hoodie or a pullover, my sunglasses, and a charger in our rental in Ann Arbor because I had to take an Uber back to Detroit to go meet with some donors. And those came in a box like days later. That's how reliable he is. Now, it's really hard for most men to go send something UPS in the mail. They're just not that reliable, not that thorough, but that's not Andre the Lawyer.
Hey, I love that. He's clutch. Even when
clutch, man. I love that pullover. I thought I'd never see it, or next time I'd see it, he'd be wearing it, but that wasn't the case.
Man, that's I love that. I love that. That's why he's part of the team. I absolutely love that. Hey, Texas got a bye week before Oklahoma. And we were talking to Drew Kelson on Wednesday night. He can never remember a time where Texas had a bye week going in to that game where you literally get 2 weeks to prepare. And we know how much Sark and these guys like to, bring in new stuff and kind of install some new things. What has been the main focus that you're hearing in this week? One of my sources had indicated getting some stuff cleaned up on the offensive line. Little things like that. Kind of. It was more of an instructional week. Pretty tame practices, but more of an instructional week because they do think they need to get some little things cleaned up here and there. What has been the OU focus for this bye week?
Well, I mean, that source is 100% right, but there's another side of that coin. There were things that they would have to clean up no matter what after playing Mississippi State. It was a sloppy game. Yeah. Tackling was bad. It was a poor fundamental game. So they did spend the week working on fundamentals. There was a lot less team. There was a lot, it wasn't as physical as normal. They did work on tackling, of course, but it wasn't team and tackling. That was a big emphasis. You gotta fix what you got wrong in the last game. But there was tons of emphasis on OU. Normally, the emphasis during bye week is just working on the fundamentals, internal focus. This time, they did not hide away from, hey, you got OU. We got an extra week to prepare for OU. It was all OU game plan. The mindset was they're going to go out there and kick their tail. I'm not saying that, I wish I could have quoted the guy exactly, but I had to tame it down a little bit. Can't be throwing a bunch of stuff in the locker room. But there was a lot more focus on the team ahead than we normally see with the bye week. But that makes sense because the team ahead is OU, your biggest rival.
Yeah, and that's just a chance for you to clean stuff. Anytime you play Oklahoma, the focus gets a little sharper. Players are going to be a little bit better. They're going to be a little bit more dialed in. That's a week of intensity. And I like how Sark gets to kind of extend that a little bit. And I think last year's loss really hangs in the minds of a lot of these players.
I think that has something to do with it. Because OU came out and wanted it more. You could tell. I'm not saying they wanted it more in the fourth quarter, but they wanted it more at the jump. They came out ready to go. They were fired up. I think that's in the back of everybody's mind right now, and I think it goes into why they practiced the way they did this week.
That's 100% positive. I agree with that. It's funny. This week, I was expecting more. Is Quinn Ewers going to start questions this week? But that's not been the case. I've actually had more. Who's going to start at running back? And I'm getting that question with Texas fans fully knowing it's pretty much a split carry type of deal for the most part. Jaden Blue generally would get a little bit more touches, but this is a running back by committee in a lot of realms. But still, people want to know who's going to start at running back. What are you hearing on that thought?
Well, it sounds like Jaden Blue is still with the ones, but one source put it. Of course, they split carries, as you just noted. But Tashard Choice is going to play the guy that's playing the best. And if Trey Wisner comes out and plays better than Blue, and they go back to scrimmaging ones-on-ones, and Blue has another fumble or two, we could see a switch. So right now, Jaden Blue is with the ones, but that's not set in stone. He's got to play a lot better than he did in Mississippi State. We've had sources say, he had one bad game. I don't agree with that source wholly. I think he's had some struggles throughout the season. The team has 8 drops on the entire year. He has 4 of them. Running back conversions, as far as a quarterback goes, are usually the easiest. That's the highest completion percentage you should have. His fumbles are not good. We've seen that before, going back to last year. That fumble in the playoffs should have definitely got his attention. So he's got to play better. That's the bottom line. But right now he's a starter, but it's not stuck and it's not written in stone. He's got to improve, and he's got to hope Trey Wisner doesn't catch him.
And we also understand that the running back room is getting healthier. That's one that was really hit by the injury bug in the last few weeks. That room is getting healthier. When you've got Wisner, when you've got those guys looking back like they did in week 1 and week 2, I think that's when the running game gets really maximized. And I think this has been a big, big week for that. And also, I'm a big fan of Jarrett Gibson, Mr. True North. I don't think that guy owns a compass because he has no idea what east, west, and south mean. He has no clue. He is nothing but a North kid, and I love that. I think they're going to add some more to his plate along the season. We're going to switch it up to recruiting real quick. You know, we do team big at Inside Texas. We do recruiting big. Coaches are on the road. Get to the chopper. Sark and those guys are out. They're out in Sark Force One. They're out there. They're looking, and they're on the trail. You just go ahead and get us started. Who are some of these flip targets and some of these priority guys that Sark and the staff have decided to come out and go see today?
Yeah, we've been writing the last couple of weeks that there's a lot of guys on flip watch. I predicted they'd have at least 5 flips a couple of weeks ago, and then a couple of days after that, I came back and said, you know what, 5 might be low. I think they're going to be they're going after flips, right? Most of the targets that they're after are committed elsewhere. There's Michael Terry that's uncommitted, but for the most part, these guys are flips and they're getting aggressive. Earlier in the week, we reported that Sark would be at the game for a high priority player. That player is Dorian Brew, committed to Oregon. Dorian Brew reminds me a lot of our coverage of Jonah Williams, where most people were underplaying Texas's chances for Brew, like they did Jonah Williams for the whole cycle. Once we learned that Brew's mother moved to Texas, I started taking that recruitment a lot more seriously. Everybody's focused on LSU, Ohio State, Oregon, USC, all these other ones. I said Texas is right there in it. They have remained in it, and they're still in it. Sark would not be wasting his time on a Friday night. He has precious little time on bye weeks to go see kids, yet here he is going to go there on Friday night. So Dorian Brew is definitely one to watch. It's been one to watch. Sometimes the fact pattern isn't as public as it is private. I'm not saying Texas is going to flip them, but they're definitely right there. They've got a chance to do it. Malcolm Simpson is another one we've been hitting out the last month or so. He's kind of like a Dre Bledsoe, talent-wise, position-wise as well, athletic-wise. And he's still got, he's had to move from Galveston Ball, so there's some things he's had to clean up. But right now he's doing all the right things. They got his transcript last week, and now they're going to see him this week. That tells me that that offer might be coming. He's committed to Nebraska, high upside guy. If Texas offers and stays on him, I like their chances for the flip. He's a guy that they value extremely highly from a raw upside standpoint. They think he's one of the top athletes in the state relative to his size. So he's one to watch. And then you got A&M commit Kobe Sellers, another cornerback. Everybody's been worried about Terry Joseph's recruiting, which is bizarre if you look at his recruiting track record at Texas. I said in the early summer that DB recruiting was going to play out late into the cycle. Here we are. We're getting later into the cycle. Things are really heating up at defensive back, and there's still a surprise or two remaining at defensive back recruiting. We'll get into that at the right time. But for now, Kobe Sellers is on the target list. Texas finished second to A&M earlier in the cycle. OU was in it for a while.
Yeah.
I think the next week or two is going to be really big between Texas and Kobe Sellers.
And don't forget, there's other coaches also going around the bend. Coach Kenny Baker is expected in Georgia if possible. I know there was some things going on with their location over there with everything they was dealing with the hurricane, and so he'd love to go in there and check out Walter Mathis and Joseph Mbachu, especially before Mbachu goes on his Georgia visit this weekend. And then you got to check in on your boys. Chris Jackson's headed to Jacksonville. He's got to check in on Jamie French. That's, he's got that one out-of-state 5-star every class that he really, really loves, and French is that guy. And then we got Tashard Choice hearing that he's going to be at Royce City tonight and watching Forney running back Javian Osborne, the number 1 tailback in the class of 2026, the priority tailback in that cycle, number 1 back in the country. That's a big deal as well. And perhaps one of the biggest guys that Texas is looking at and Sark is going to see today is at Galena Park North Shore. Those guys on the east side. And they've got a 5-star corner over there, Eric, that's committed to a major, major program in the Big Ten. Who are they going to see? Who else is Sark? Who's this big guy they want to see also?
Yeah, Sark's over there trying to move on up the board with Devin Sanchez, the 5-star cornerback out of Ohio State. This is one we've been been quiet about for months. So, there's 3 big DB developments that I've been hinting at since probably June, maybe July. One was Jonah Williams, one was Devin Sanchez, and there's one still out there that I feel confident is going to make some noise. I'm not sure it's going to actually break UT's way, but it's going to be something we'll be talking about on this show. But Devin Sanchez, 5-star cornerback, long, athletic. You've been in love with that kid since the first time you laid eyes on him. I'm surprised that they made it public, just because now it's going to be a Big Tent circus, man. And I'm not sure that the circus is going to help.
Yeah.
But isn't he getting ready to go up to Ohio State this weekend?
He is, and this is good strategic timing. El Senor Devin Sanchez will be in Columbus this weekend, so Sark's getting a little bit of some of that eye contact before he heads to Columbus.
Yeah, Sark's going to give his pitch and see if what Ohio State is talking about is stacking up. Yeah, it's a good development, but now, oh man, now it seems like we'll be spending a lot of time on the east side trying to figure this one out. But it's, to me, don't get your hopes up too much. It's a bit of a long shot. He's been committed to Ohio State for a very long time, so still a long ways to go for Texas, but now at least it's out in the open.
Eric, this was a good show. And the fans are going to tell you that. I think this one hit this on the head. Any parting shots before we let our Texas fans enjoy their weekend?
No, I just think that as the months play out, I think the season and recruiting are going to run parallel to each other. I was asked a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago, I should say, which would finish higher rankings, team or recruiting. At the time, I put team. Right now, man, it's a tough call. I could see Texas being top 3, and then the playoffs. There's always, you never know what you're going to get. My prediction before the season was a Texas loss to Ohio State in the national championship game, which, I think is still defensible. Ohio State's look good. I hope it doesn't play out that way, but I think rankings and team ranking are going to run parallel to each other. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think we learned last weekend with the AP poll, the litmus test being number 1 is beating Georgia at home by 7. So I think if Texas and Sark can match that, maybe go up a point, get that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I don't know the science behind that, but I hope to see it.
Absolutely. Hey, we hope to see you at InsideTexas.com. Come see us. Use that promo code IT1 to get 2 months for $1. And I will continue that. I don't care if Eric doesn't like it. I will help you. I will continue. Be sure to reach out. Let us earn your business. Also, be sure and like this video and subscribe to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel. We really are building this up, and we absolutely love the product. Come pay attention to us every day. Thank you for making us a part of your day and joining us on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com.